Hello everyone, and a great big welcome to Cabin Fever Crochet with me, Helene here, your yarn happy little getaway and beyond. Well, today I thought I would take a little break, spend a few with you. Sorry for the backhoe sounds, my hubby's over there doing his thing. And while I'm doing my thing with you, I made a little treat for you to enjoy. A fresh blueberry yogurt parfait, Greek yogurt, with Belgian dark chocolate chips, some toasted coconut and oatmeal, and pecans on top. I have a dairy-free, nut-free version for anyone who needs it. Coffee, tea, sparkling water, whatever you would like. All right, so I hope you'll pull up a seat, enjoy, while I talk about KnitCrate, some of the changes with the eco bags, how it's packaged, what I like, what I have issues with. And then after I go into all of that, I'm going to take you upstairs for just a few and show you like what I would do if I were the one packaging this to protect the contents, because although I am perfectly fine with the eco-friendly bags, I do kind of miss the boxes. I do understand the necessity with companies, particularly surviving the pandemic and coming out of it with all the hardships and the devastation, and so many companies are not even in business anymore. So I'm very thankful that KnitCrate hung in there. I kept my membership, even though I have skipped many months, and even pre-pandemic I didn't necessarily get every month anyway. What I really liked about the box is that it protected the contents and the booklet, which I love receiving. It kept all the items together and kept from getting them hung up on each other. So there's a difference between cutting costs with the rising costs of everything, because a company can only absorb so many costs. But there's a difference between that and cutting back so much where it affects not only the presentation, which is lovely and nice, but that's aside from when it actually affects what happens to the contents inside, because there's nothing in here there protecting them. And even though these thin bags are very strong, they are not puncture or tear proof. They're resistant, but they're not proof. And so without having any kind of a layer between the packaging and the contents, all kinds of crazy things can happen in there. And even though they may not, whomever is packaging them, just dump them inside haphazardly, that is exactly what it looks like when it gets to the receiver. When I opened it, everything's just all jumbled up every which way. The last time, my two hanks of yarn, one came undone, one was kind of tangled, it got caught up in the hang tag of the other yarn, and it snags and pulls the yarn, and that's not good, especially with the price increase. And before, KnitCrate was so incredibly reasonable. I was surprised that it wasn't more, and I do understand a price increase, but oh my goodness, between the shipping, the additional shipping, the additional increase on items, went up 40%, and that is huge and tremendous. And I understand that cost increase, the cost of mailing, and they have to pay someone to pack their items. And again, it goes back to you can only absorb so much, and usually everything is passed on the consumer anyway. But there are things that a company can do that is minimalistic. It's really cost effective. I mean, it costs pennies. And I'm going to show you, like I mentioned at the start, what I would do and what I do as someone who ships out items on a regular basis. And the difference that I do depends on whether it's something that needs extra protection, such as some bubble wrap, which I always hope gets reused when it gets to where it's going, or even simple as tissue. And I absorb that cost because it's important to me to know that how I pack something, I do my best so that it receives in its nice and beautiful condition as when I sent it out to when the person gets it. And I also like a little extra touch for the extra special presentation, because you know, we all like feeling like we're getting a gift, even if it's something that we've sent to ourselves. But with all of these changes, I have to be even extra careful and mindful of where I'm putting my yarn funds, so to speak, and where I send that. And so $38, you know, at a pop is significant. And I had meant to put this on hold to skip that month. I forgot about it. I was like, oh no. And more alpaca, which I'm sensitive to, but after getting this, I'm really pleased. So let me show you the yarn that I got in just a sec, but I want to show you what happened to my booklet. And you know, guys, this is not an extra. We pay for this, and all of these costs, in my opinion, are more than likely factored into the overall cost of the membership. And you know, if I had received, say I'd ordered a book from Amazon, it's a new book, unless it's pre-owned and there's disclaimer, might be, you know, slightly wear this or that, that's one thing. But I like getting these, and I like getting them in good condition. But it is so bent and tweaked and creased, and so much along the spine that there are little tears going all down, and it's split to where it's separated from the ink. And as you can see, this is bent very much so. So is this edge. I mean, the whole thing is, there you go. So if I received something that I'd ordered from elsewhere in this condition, I would not be happy. And this is all bent out of shape, and I'm a little bent out of shape over it too. Not to agree where, you know, the overall scheme of life, it's not going to make or break that. There are bigger issues, things that come up, you know, pick and choose what you worry about. But really, come on, this is, to me, is not necessary. And it does look like everything was just dumped in the bag, and that's what I'm not loving about the switch. There is a way that this could be done a little bit better with just such a small minimal cost, and I'll show you that. So anyway, really fun little theme. May 2021, which by the way I received on June 7th, so they're getting better with their ship and turnaround time. This is yet another alpaca blend coming in. Now I received it in June, whether it came at the end of May. To me, it's getting a little late in the season for yarns that would typically be for cooler months. And I know they ship worldwide, and so some countries, as we're going into our summer, they are going into their winter. Even if it was just June, July, August, really appreciate a more seasonal type of yarn, and that we can utilize for these months, and especially with the price increase. So what are your thoughts on that? Are you a KnitCrate membership? Do you still have yours? What were some of your favorite yarns? Did you get the May? And tell me your experience, you know, with the bags, how you feel about that, how you feel about this yarn. So this is by Aldine Wools, one of KnitCrate's in-house brands, and it's called Chill, like to just relax, I think. Chillax, that's the new thing, combining the two. It's 90% Surrey alpaca, S-U-R-I, 10% cashmere, a worsted weight, which is really nice. I enjoy the worsted and DK the most, I think. And 150 yards, 100 gram ball, 137 meters, made in Peru. It's such interesting. Now, when I last night was in the artificial lighting after dark, this appeared more brown to me, but in daylight you can see it's a beautiful plum hues of a little bit of gray tones from the alpaca, and it has a lot of highs and lows mixed in with kind of a reddish burgundy. And I think so much interest. It's incredibly soft. Now, I'm very sensitive, as mentioned, particularly on my neck, certain areas. At first touch and even going ever so lightly. There he is. Coming closer, no! I already moved one time. Oh, okay, I'm not gonna complain. I think he's working on my walk trail. I don't want you to have to yell over it or have it be an irritation for you. Here, have some more of your parfait. That'll take your mind off of it. So anyway, yeah, back to that. We'll see how it goes when I actually work it up, because what I have found is that sometimes yarn might feel incredibly soft, and then depending on the stitch or how it's spun, the hairs kind of bloom, and then I can really feel it. Okay, well, I have 10% left battery charge, so I better get on with it. I wasn't planning on going through the whole booklet anyway. I just want to show you some highlights. The theme, Happy Little Skeins, I think is so sweet, and to me it's a nod to Bob Ross, the painter, who has long since left this earthly plane, but he is on YouTube, where you can enjoy many of his painting videos, which I find wonderfully relaxing. And here's an example of some of KnitCrate's beautiful photography. And when Bob Ross paints in his painting world, he calls them happy little trees. And here's another photo showing the inspiration for the colorways. And then the 6 different colors, which would be a surprise rather than being able to choose our own, which I much prefer. But I understand having so much left at the end of each month is difficult for a business. So eventually they might go back to that, and that would be really nice. But pretty colors, I think they all go together quite well. And then here is the sock crate, which I love those spring summery colors. Very pretty. It does contain 40% linen, which would be a no-go for me. It's just way too prickly, itchy for my skin, except if I were making a bag or something. And then the little, just show you real quick before I show you the little extra in that. Here are the 4 patterns, 2 knit, 2 crochet. Beautiful knit cowl, really cute slouchy hat with a shell design, some lovely knit socks, and then the crochet sock option. And got 2 stitch markers this time. They're cute. They feel maybe a little like acrylic. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's glass or acrylic. I think it might be acrylic. But anyways, cute with a little flower bead topper. And then, there we go, see if I can focus more on that. And an oversized lobster claw clasp, because I appreciate it has a good spring mechanism, and the bigger they are, the less likely it's going to get hung up in your yarn. I think these, switch out the lobster claw to ear wires and you have yourself a fun little pair of earrings. Yeah, so okay, so that's that on the crate. My thoughts on it and the bag, and then I'm going to go upstairs and show you what I think would be a really good solution. Okay, so you ready? First, how I would pack this is I would take a piece of tissue paper, and I have my 2 hanks. If you notice, one end of the hank is thinner and smaller than the other. So I would have one end opposite of each other, which makes more of a uniform shape. I would tuck these tags underneath so they don't get hung up on anything. It doesn't matter if the tag's already partially bent, then I'll just turn it facing the way that it was. And then the little stitch markers you can either place in between, or maybe I would even just take them and tuck them up underneath inside the fold here. Keep them secure, perhaps, like that. Is there. And then this, now the booklet, sometimes the ink smell is really strong to me, probably depending on when came off the printing press, and so that ink doesn't transfer onto the yarn. I would just take the end, fold it over, place the yarn on top, keep it all together and fold it over again, so then the booklet becomes the flat bottom. And I just take one end, a nice little kind of a straight cut there with my hand so it folds in evenly. Okay, do the same with the other side. Okay, and now I'm standing up. It's a little easier if I'm sitting down. Then I just take the whole thing as one, fold it over, tuck my ends inside, and you know, when I'm sitting I have more leverage and control over this. And then depending on what I am wrapping, if you use 2 pieces of tissue, it doesn't really matter. Can fold that over as it is. The little ends overlap, I just tuck them in. And then I have these stickers. I used to just make my own for my WildRoseAcres Etsy and eBay shop, and then I have some glitter glue. I like this Stickles glitter glue. I've been using this for years and years, and I will take a coordinating color, maybe a silver, and sometimes, I don't always do that, but put that in the center for a little dimension. That's kind of fun. It would already be dry by the time I do this. Or I order these stickers already made. These I use rubber stamps. This says thank you. Sometimes I add little dots of the glitter glue just for fun. It isn't necessary. These Sam's stickers, Sam is in short for either Samantha or Samuel, Sam's stickers on eBay, and they also have their own website. They're very inexpensive. I used to order just the 1 inch, which is this size, and decided to go up a little bit bigger for some of the bigger packages. And then I would either fold it over like this, place a thank you on it, or perhaps just tuck it inside the fold. Okay. And again, comes out a lot neater when I'm sitting down, but I just wanted to give you the idea. And then some packages will hold themselves like that, and others this does not. So I might just put a little piece of tape on either end to secure it. And then I take one of my stickers. All right, so this is already secured with tape, right? And my WildRoseAcres card. I will secure that and place a thank you on it with my card. Or, you know, cabin fever crochet. Aren't those fun? Cute. Another extension of my design that I did. And I put all that together. Yeah, and I would just, you know, put that on here too. One or both. Sometimes I do both depending on whether it's from my YouTube channel, something I'm sending out, like one of my giveaways, or strictly from my eBay shop. And then I would just place the sticker on there. And this little bit really does help to protect the contents. It keeps them from jostling around. It may not keep that booklet from getting completely bent, but it does offer some measure of protection. Keeps the contents together, and then the yarn helps to pad the booklet, but the booklet isn't right up next to the yarn, and the yarn isn't getting tangled and hung up on itself. And then when a person opens the package, yeah, the little sticker on it, one little sticker goes a long way. You know, you have a nice little presentation there, and protection in one. All right, well, that is it for today, my friends. I wanted to show you what I had going on, my thoughts on the yarn, and everything else I talked about. Okay, well, take care. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Take care.